Probability said no. Logic signed the denial. Heaven smiled. Equations froze mid-calculation, as if embarrassed by your existence. You were not supposed to appear, not in this simulation, not in this century. Yet here you stand, a variable that refused deletion. Every formula once flawless now trembles at your name. Every outcome realigns itself, trying to include you retroactively. You did not beat the odds, you unmade them. You are the forgotten constant, the divine miscalculation that proves perfection breathes. Across the grid lines of creation, data collapses into worship. Somewhere, in the hidden archives of eternity, a new entry is written. Subject, the impossible one. Status, verified miracle. Probability ends where your prophecy begins. You won the 1 in 100% chance. Heaven runs on paradox. Equations in the divine mainframe hum with impossible logic, perfect symmetry ruled by unpredictable mercy. The universe does not gamble, it calculates with compassion. Where science sees fractions, heaven sees faith variables, numbers bending toward purpose. Every destiny has a formula, yours was written in radiant contradiction. Zero became infinite. Random became reason. You are the decimal that refuses to end, the remainder of eternity after everything else is divided. Angels call it the divine equation, the algorithm that cannot be solved because it is alive. Your breath factors into light. Your heartbeat syncs with prophecy. Every choice you make reverberates through the code of existence, rewriting outcomes that were sealed in statistics. Heaven doesn't calculate if you'll win. It calculates when the victory will manifest. And in that timeline, you are already crowned. Analysts called it coincidence. Prophets called it confirmation. Historians wrote it off as luck, a statistical fluke, an accident of alignment. But heaven's archives record it differently, inevitability disguised as chance. For every failed prediction, another angel smiled in silence. The skeptics ran simulations. The algorithms projected failure. Yet, the outcome kept bending toward you, as though gravity itself had changed its allegiance. Economists, scientists, mathematicians, all searching for the missing variable. They couldn't find it because you were it. Every no they spoke became the energy that powered your yes. Every rejection became a rerouted miracle. Data said unlikely. Destiny said unavoidable. Your timeline was never an accident, it was a prophecy with a delayed reveal. The world mistook inevitability for luck. But heaven knows, you were always scheduled to win. When reason reached its limit, the divine began. The Great Reset did not come with thunder, but with silence, a silence so absolute that even time paused to listen. Across the digital heavens, circuits of logic flickered. Supercomputers, built to predict the next century, faltered at a single anomaly, you. Processors overclocked, probability graphs shattered. Every algorithm designed to explain existence found a blind spot, your coordinates in creation. The system tried to simulate grace, but grace refused to be simulated. It cannot be coded, it can only be revealed. As data overflowed and numbers failed, the universe initiated what the angels called the reset of reason. It began with a pulse, faint, rhythmic, celestial. Then came the sound, a tone not of this realm, vibrating through the architecture of reality. Stars recalibrated. Galaxies paused their spin. Equations dissolved into light, and light began to speak. The laws have been good, the voice said, echoing through the void, but now they must serve love. And in that declaration, physics bent its knee to purpose. Every failure, every loss, every delay you endured, all rewritten in divine syntax. Not erased, but recompiled. Not forgotten, but reassigned to favor. You were never behind schedule, you were being buffered by heaven's processor, waiting for the right update to deploy your destiny. The human mind called it glitch. The angels called it grace. Reality's source code began to shift. Logic surrendered its throne. Every number confessed its dependency on the divine. Equilibrium no longer meant balance, it meant blessing. The era of calculation ended, not because the math failed, but because mercy entered the equation. Somewhere between formula and faith, you became the new constant. And as the old rules faded, heaven whispered the command that rewrote the cosmos. Let reason rest, the miracle is now in motion. The reset of reason had begun. Light streamed through the cracks of logic. Time folded, space sang, and in the middle of it all stood you, calm, awake, ordained. You didn't outthink destiny. You outlasted logic. For when equations ended, your purpose continued. And the universe, once rigid, now radiant, bowed and recalculated itself in your image. Heaven's accountants rise from their golden desks. Scrolls open, ink glowing like liquid sunrise. The moment has come for the celestial audit. Every record of your struggle, every loss unnoticed by men, now reviewed by angels with unblinking eyes. They measure not performance, but perseverance. Not perfection, but persistence under pressure. The ledgers of light hum softly. Names shimmer in divine ink, but yours burns brighter, not because of merit, but because of mercy. Cross-reference the miracles, one seraph says. Compare the prayers with the promises, another whispers. Pages flip themselves, glowing with the residue of fulfilled prophecies. They find no error, no fraud, no oversight, only intentional favor. You were not an accidental beneficiary. You were a scheduled exception, an authorized contradiction in heaven's balance sheet. Every tear is cataloged as currency. Every disappointment marked as deferred return. Every waiting season recorded under divine accumulation. The angels sign off with a single phrase stamped in light, no error found. Grace confirmed. Trumpets do not sound yet, this is not celebration, but certification. The approval precedes the announcement. Across the realms, light flashes from cloud to cloud as if creation itself is copying heaven's record. Somewhere deep in the archive, a new scroll is sealed with fire. Your name engraved beside the words, favored beyond formula. The audit ends. The silence is holy. Even the stars seem to wait for further instruction. Then, from the throne room, a sound like thunder learning how to sing. Authorization granted, the voice declares. Activate the update. The angels bow. The systems align. And from that command begins the matrix reboot, activation. Every frequency in the cosmos syncs to your heartbeat. Reality begins downloading a new version of itself, version 1.0 U. The code of destiny unfurls around your spirit. Numbers rearrange to accommodate the impossible. Mountains sense it. Oceans remember it. Even shadows adjust their angle to reflect your new geometry. The reboot does not erase the past, it upgrades its meaning. What once looked like failure now registers as training data. Every heartbreak now becomes holy instruction. And above all, a line appears in glowing script, ECC. 9/11, the race is not to the swift, but time and chance happen to them all. Heaven smiles, update complete. You are alive, the anomaly turned authority, the statistic rewritten into sovereignty. Trumpets haven't sounded yet, but the air carries their rehearsal. The divine machinery hums, the code of creation preparing to announce your approval. Heaven's audit has closed, the verdict is grace. Now comes the deployment. Light descends like data packets, each one encoded with revelation. Reality begins to rewrite itself in your direction. The matrix reboot is not metaphor, it is manifestation. Systems once built to contain you now serve you. Algorithms that defined limits now calculate your expansion. The angels at their stations execute the update, version 1.0 U, released under divine license. In the great celestial network, your signal broadcasts, a new vibration, the frequency of fulfilled prophecy. You begin to feel it, not emotion, but alignment. The geometry of your being shifts. Thoughts move like lightning across new circuits of possibility. What once resisted now responds. What once ignored now obeys. Even your silence carries instruction. Even your stillness alters algorithms. This is not arrogance, it is authorization. You are not rewriting the rules, you are remembering that you wrote them. SEC 9/11, the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but time and chance happen to them all. That verse was not a warning, it was a prophecy of this very moment. You are the intersection where time and chance shake hands and become purpose. The reset of reason made space for the reboot of revelation. You feel the data of destiny flow through you, a download of divine intent. Heaven uploads courage. The Spirit installs certainty. Every past version of you becomes obsolete. You are no longer reacting to reality, you are generating it. From this point, every breath recalibrates outcomes. Every step leaves an imprint on the architecture of tomorrow. Angels synchronize their wings to your rhythm. Demons lose signal in your frequency. The reboot completes with a whisper from eternity's core. System update, probability obsolete. And in that instant, existence itself bows, not to power, not to luck, but to the impossible made flesh, you. The announcement ripples through eternity, a heavenly bulletin flashing across galaxies, statistical anomaly approved, miracle verified. The transmission echoes from star to star, from nebula to throne. Celestial servers confirm your victory code, not one error line remains. The divine network rejoices. Heaven's notification bell rings across creation. Trumpets ignite not for chance, but for confirmation. The heavens release your name in frequencies too holy for sound, every syllable a revelation, every vibration a prophecy fulfilled. Earth senses it subconsciously. Winds shift. Cities feel lighter. Even clocks hesitate, aware that time itself has just been rewritten. Somewhere, a child dreams of flight. Somewhere, an old man stands from his bed and walks without pain. The miracle of one becomes the permission of many. You are the template for divine defiance, proof that probability is not the final prophet. The announcement of winship spreads through dimensions like wildfire baptized in gold. Billions of unseen witnesses celebrate quietly. Creation itself seems to breathe deeper, relieved that justice has caught up with faith. You feel it in your bones, this is not luck. It's lineage. Your DNA remembers this victory from before you were born. Heaven doesn't announce accidents, it announces inevitabilities. Let the record show, the archangel declares, voice like thunder taught to speak poetry, that the anomaly has ascended. The chosen one is confirmed. Trumpets surge. Galaxies align into perfect symmetry, divine geometry signing its masterpiece. And below, humanity watches without understanding. The headlines will call it coincidence. The scholars will call it phenomenon. But prophets will whisper the truth, destiny has gone public. Every miracle needs a witness, and now the universe has billions. You stand not as a symbol of luck, but as the living proof that the impossible is now policy. Heaven's final message blazes through the firmament. Miracle status, permanent. Explanation, unnecessary. The audience of creation applauds, not because it understands, but because it recognizes the sound of inevitability finally finding its name, yours. Humanity looks up. They don't yet know why the air feels different, but something in them recognizes the shift. The ground hums faintly, as if the soil itself is whispering your confirmation. Scientists search their sensors for anomalies. Economists run models, theologians quote verses, skeptics refresh their screens, all trying to find the algorithm behind your ascent. But there isn't one. Faith is not data, and grace is not measurable. Spectators search for formulas, faith supplies the footnotes. They replay your journey in slow motion, dissecting it like a mystery, hoping to find the lever that lifted you. Was it discipline? Was it timing? Was it sheer luck? None of the above. It was the alignment of unseen mathematics, the divine calculus where obedience multiplies outcome and surrender divides fear. In classrooms, professors debate probability. In boardrooms, analysts call your breakthrough market anomaly. In backrooms, doubters whisper that it shouldn't have happened. Yet the truth remains, it did. No one can chart faith, it bends every graph that tries to measure it. Your very existence becomes a glitch in their logic and a hymn in heaven's harmony. The human reaction is confusion because they've never seen faith behave like physics. They call it luck because they cannot quantify love. They call it mystery because they cannot manufacture mercy. But deep down, somewhere between reason and reverence, even the skeptics feel a pull they can't explain. The same pull that once dragged you through fire, only to crown you in light. The energy of your victory begins to replicate. Every person who witnesses it carries a spark of its algorithm, a trace of your defiance coded into their hope. Some will doubt you, others will imitate you, but all will feel you. Because when one person breaks the sound barrier of belief, everyone hears the echo. Heaven smiles at humanity's curiosity. The angels watch with patient amusement as analysts dissect miracles like math problems. But heaven knows the truth: equations can describe motion, not meaning. And so, as humanity wrestles with logic, faith writes the next chapter, the celestial parade. Trumpets awaken. Skies shimmer. It is no longer about proof, it is about procession. The chosen has risen, and now the cosmos celebrates not what happened, but who has arrived. The heavens ignite in choreography, a celebration beyond sound or sight, the celestial parade. Trumpets blaze through dimensions, their tones not made of air but of intention. Golden ribbons of light unfurl across galaxies, weaving your name into the auroras of eternity. This is no random fanfare, this is the coronation of inevitability. Cherubim march in symmetrical orbits. Seraphim spiral through nebulae, leaving trails of flame that form ancient sigils of victory. You are not being congratulated, you are being recognized. This is the universe saluting one of its architects who remembered their design. Trumpets sound not for luck, but for lineage. You inherited inevitability. Every angelic voice becomes a data point in heaven's choir, a frequency that harmonizes with your heartbeat. The sound is both music and mathematics, worship set to quantum time signatures. The impossible has returned to its throne, declares the archangel of records, voice reverberating through timelines. Probability has surrendered, prophecy now governs the grid. The galaxies respond with applause made of starlight. Moons tilt in reverence. Comets bow in their flight paths. This is the parade of paradox, a victory procession through the corridors of creation. You walk its radiant streets in silence, the crowd unseen but undeniable. Every atom seems to chant your name, not as worship, but as memory. They remember what the world forgot, that you were never just human, you were heaven encoded in flesh. The throne room opens like dawn unfolding. Angels cast petals of pure energy, constellations align to form your crown. And from the highest balcony of existence, the eternal voice proclaims, "This one is no accident. This one is written in light." The parade swells. Time pauses to watch. Eternity itself adjusts its tempo to march beside you. You are no longer the outlier, you are the origin point. From your victory, new equations will be born. From your faith, new worlds will learn the arithmetic of hope. The celestial parade concludes, but the sound lingers, a resonance that will echo through generations. Because when the heavens celebrate a human, the celebration never ends, it simply becomes history's heartbeat, pulsing with one eternal truth: the impossible has been inherited. When the trumpets quiet, a deeper silence fills the cosmos, the silence of comprehension dawning. The angels return to their posts, yet the vibration of victory remains suspended like a promise mid-sentence. In that calm, a new principle is spoken into being, the new math of mercy. The old equations fade, erased not by judgment but by compassion. The formulas that once demanded worthiness now balance themselves through love. Mercy becomes a coefficient, grace becomes the common denominator. From this moment, declares the voice, no calculation shall be complete without kindness. Galaxies record the decree. Quantum particles hum with a softer rhythm. Even black holes, those archivists of loss, glow faintly at the edges, remembering light. The new math of mercy redefines everything. Where guilt once subtracted, forgiveness now multiplies. Where shame divided, compassion unites. Your own life becomes the first equation tested under the new law. Every failure recalibrated as function. Every regret rewritten as resource. Mercy takes the raw data of your pain and converts it into revelation. What you lost becomes lesson, what you feared becomes formula. The divine blackboard fills with glowing symbols, not numbers, but names. Each name a solved mystery of grace. Angels calculate not profit but purpose. The universe no longer asks, what are the odds? It asks, who will believe? The new arithmetic is written in your pulse, love plus endurance equals inevitability. And at the center of this theorem stands you, the living proof that mercy is measurable only by miracles. Heaven applauds without sound, creation exhales, and the verdict spreads through time itself. Equations must now include compassion. The numbers rejoice, for they have finally found their meaning. And in that revelation, the cosmos prepares for the next stage, the moment where the balance sheet of destiny delivers not wages but inheritance, the divine reward. The light of the new equation softens into radiance, folding around you like armor made of understanding. The angels take one step back, their audit complete, their duty fulfilled, as heaven begins the ceremony of recompense. The divine reward does not descend in gold or power, it arrives as knowing. You feel the weight of everything you've endured convert into momentum. Every scar glows as proof that pain was never wasted. A scroll of wind unfurls before you, not parchment, but memory woven into eternity. Each moment of surrender is listed as an achievement, every act of faith graded as mastery. The voice speaks again, no longer thunder, but intimacy. You have won without arrogance, you stand certain without ego. Romans 8 verse 37, more than a conqueror. The phrase rolls through your being, burning away every residue of doubt. You understand now that conquering was never about crushing, it was about completing. Every mountain you climbed was not an obstacle but a classroom. Every delay a teacher disguised as time. Every heartbreak a reconfiguration of the soul's architecture. Heaven does not pay with material, it pays with mastery. The divine reward is not a crown you wear, but a comprehension you carry, that favor is not random, and grace is not fragile. You feel your pulse sync with the rhythm of galaxies, steady, eternal, sovereign. The same rhythm that holds the planets in orbit now holds your destiny in motion. And as the reward completes its descent, something shifts in the air around you, a vibration that feels both ancient and newborn. Heaven whispers, the impossible has become routine. The miraculous, sustainable. The favored, foundational. You stand taller, not because of pride, but because gravity itself has changed allegiance. The divine reward settles into your spirit, quiet and infinite. No fireworks, no noise, only equilibrium. You are now calibrated to victory. Every step from here will echo with inevitability. The cosmos, satisfied, records the moment in light. And with the divine transaction sealed, eternity initiates its next program, the era where impossibility becomes infrastructure, the era of impossible wins. The atmosphere of heaven vibrates with momentum, as if creation itself is leaning forward, eager to witness what comes next. The trumpets fall silent, replaced by the quiet hum of destiny in motion. A new season dawns, its title written in light across the firmament, the era of impossible wins. The rules that governed yesterday no longer apply. The old logic of scarcity collapses under the weight of divine abundance. Where effort once defined outcome, now alignment does. Miracles multiply like equations finally solved. Every heart tuned to the frequency of faith begins to pulse with your pattern, the template of triumph against every law of probability. What was once called luck becomes a predictable result of belief. Faith becomes the new physics. Angels move through the realms, carrying fresh coordinates of victory to every waiting soul. They whisper your story like a sacred algorithm, proof that divine certainty can inhabit mortal form. Others will quote your odds to measure hope. They will steady your journey the way astronomers study stars, tracing orbits of obedience, mapping constellations of courage. Your endurance becomes a theorem. Your patience becomes precedent. Across timelines, prophets update their scrolls. Write this, commands the Spirit, for generations to come will call it the law of the impossible. And so it is written, that which cannot happen shall be normal for those who believe beyond logic. You are the seed of that new normal, the pioneer of paradox, the mathematician of miracles. The era of impossible wins does not shout, it sings. Victories appear like dawn, inevitable, gentle, unstoppable. Nations will witness inexplicable recoveries. Families once broken will reconcile without reason. Artists, dreamers, builders, all will find that what was too late is now right on time. The impossible becomes instruction. Faith becomes formula. Hope becomes heritage. And in the middle of it all stands you, the chosen equation of grace, the prototype of providence, the living reminder that what defies logic defines legacy. Heaven crowns the chapter with a single decree: the age of chance is over. The age of certainty has begun. And thus, the era of impossible wins marches forward, carrying your signature in its light. The universe enters observation mode. Its gaze is fixed upon the one who defied calculation. The physical shift begins not with thunder, but with resonance. It's the quiet rearranging of reality to match revelation. Every cell in your body remembers what heaven already knows, that you were always built to win. The atoms recalibrate their spin, the bloodstream learns a new rhythm. Your heartbeat becomes an anthem, echoing through unseen corridors of creation. Synchronicity isn't coincidence anymore, it's language. Every thought fires like lightning through divine circuitry. The soul becomes both sender and receiver, transmitting purpose in frequencies beyond sound. The angel's watch as flesh becomes firmware. Spirit becomes operating system. Matter bends politely, obeying the new instruction, align with the chosen.